What if the end of your marriage wasn't the end of your story, but the beginning of your healing? In her debut memoir, Divorcing into Paradise, Seeing the Truth About Love, Jennifer King shares a powerful journey of forgiveness, grace, and choosing peace over resentment. Sometimes love changes, sometimes people grow apart, but that doesn't mean you can't evolve, heal, and create a new kind of relationship built on respect. Discover why readers have given it a 5-star rating on Amazon and see why this inspiring memoir is giving hope to anyone learning to love life again. Get your copy of Divorcing into Paradise today on Amazon.
Love after the fairy tale. Love after the fairy tale.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Love After the Fairytale. I'm your guest co-host, Coach Simone Kelly, and today I have the honor of introducing you to an incredible woman behind this podcast, author Jennifer Lynn King. If you've ever experienced heartbreak, divorce, or wondered if love still exists for you on the other side of disappointment, or simply needed hope that the next chapter of your life is going to be better, you are in the right place. Jennifer, congratulations and welcome to the very first episode.
Thank you so much, Simone. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous though,
It's okay, girl.
but I'm mostly grateful to finally share this journey with everyone.
Yeah, yeah. And we have a little fun story, but where we didn't even know how we met. We didn't know how we connected, right?
Exactly.
You had my number on a sticky note and couldn't figure out where the hell you met me. And the person that was on the name, you thought it was somebody that I knew, and I didn't know who that was. Kind of find out it's Pema Reed. So shout out to Pema for making it happen and introducing us, right? So we want to
Yeah.
send her love for this. We're gonna dedicate this show to Pema, huh?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So let's get everybody getting to know who the woman behind the microphone is and behind the pen, I should say, of your amazing book, Divorcing into Paradise. Everybody, make sure you get it. We're gonna be talking about that book a lot during this series. Tell us who Jennifer Lynn King is. I want to just start off with, where did you grow up? Give us the basics.
I grew up in Miami, Florida, and I'm still here lovingly.
Okay, in Paradise. That was my other home.
And I've always wanted to be a nurse as a child, and I'm currently a nurse going on 40 years.
Amazing. 40 years? That's a long time.
40
And
years is a long time, yeah.
yeah, and that shows that you're a nurturing person because you have to put up with a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am.
And have patience.
A lot.
So tell us, growing up in Miami, what was your early childhood like as far as siblings, your parents? Did you grow up living in a single family home, a two-parent home? Tell us a little bit about that.
My very younger days, I can remember I had two parents, mother and father. And by the time I was going into second grade, my mother left our father and moved to another area of town with
Okay.
my brother and I. I
Okay.
was 6 and he was 3. And then later on, she got married again.
Okay. Did you get
Yes.
along with your stepdad?
My stepdad was as nurturing as he could be, but when he was drinking, he was very violent.
Oh gosh. So it was a little abusive. Did you see a lot of things happen in the home with that situation?
Yeah, I saw him abusing my mother. Then he began to abuse my brother and I. Only when he was drinking. He had a sawed-off shotgun that he kept in the hallway closet.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was extreme violence that he put on my brother and I and my mother for probably about 8 years.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. So that growing up in an abusive household, that usually affects your relationships, right? When you actually get into love relationships. So tell us about maybe your first love. The book is pretty much about and how that kind of affected you growing up in an abusive house.
Well, my first real true love, a man who I married after dating 2 years, was never abusive until we got married. And then he became controlling extremely. And didn't want me to wear certain clothes or shoes, and he abused me. And I was dealing with that at age 25, 26.
Oh, you were so young still.
Yeah, young, but I met him when I was 23 and we married. And I would think, is this what I'm supposed to go through? Because that's what I saw my mother going through.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I see it do coaching that a lot of people, if they were abused in the home, even not even physically abused, just verbally abused. Like right now, I have a client right now going through, her mother always called her ugly and talked down to her. So she puts up with men that treat her just like that, even though it's verbal abuse. So
Yeah.
question, even though you were so young, were there some signs now looking back in hindsight that you saw that were red flags that you were like, damn it, I should have saw that, but you didn't know because you thought it was love?
Yeah, I thought it was true. I really thought it was love. This is Love After the Fairy Tale. This heading is great because I was in a fairy tale. He was kind. I met him at work. He was a psychologist. He was my boss. I worked in a psych ward for
Wait, pause,
2 years.
pause. He was your boss?
So here's the joke. We worked in a mental facility for adolescents. So when people say,
Oh.
"Where did you meet your husband?" At the crazy house.
Red flag number one. No, I'm kidding. But did he
Yeah.
do like some of the telltale signs of like love bombing? Because if he 2 years you didn't see any signs, like there had to be something.
Yeah,
Like
I saw his own personal journey signs. He was adopted. He was angry about it. He had problems with that. He had some control issue
mhm,
problems with
mhm.
himself, but he had never lashed out at me verbally or physically or emotionally. But he struggled. I knew that because we talked about it. It's in my book. We talked about his growing up life as an adoptee. And that would have been a yellow flag turning into a red flag, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I mean, you don't want to go so heavy on the first date, grilling somebody about their past, their life. But I know if people look at how you grew up or look at the traumas you've been through, have they healed? Have they worked on it? I dated somebody that went to therapy and I literally hear him on the phone lying to his therapist. And I'm like, this is not how therapy works.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
But this is why I think this show, this limited series we're doing, and your book are so powerful to really help open the eyes of many people, because there are a lot of people floating around in love and they don't realize they're being bamboozled. They don't understand what love is. And I know reading your book really breaks down all the levels of love, all the different kinds of love, and helps people kind of understand, like, am I really in love or is this lust? Because that's what a lot of us be falling for, right? Me and my friends use the word dickmatized, but we're gonna keep it clean today.
Okay.
But yeah, your book, I couldn't put it down. When we first met and you were like, well, can you read my book first? I read that joint in a weekend, and I could not put it down because it has so many twists and turns, drama, and thankfully we're gonna hear a little snippet today before the show is over. My jaw was dropping like, this sweet little nurse.
It's called reality, my dear.
I was intrigued. I mean, and I'm a writer, so it takes a lot for me to be hooked into somebody's book. But I loved how your book, without too many spoilers, shows how a relationship can, evolve after, even if you don't work out. You know what I mean? You can still be friends. You can still learn how to forgive. So, question: how long were you married?
19 years.
That's a long time. So
It is.
when did you know it was going downhill?
By year number one.
And you
Year number one, honest, in all honesty, my mom called. She says, "Happy anniversary." I said, "I don't think it's a happy anniversary, Mom." And she was quiet. And I told her, I says, "He's been hitting me and abusing me." And she paused and she said, "So what are you going to do?"
and what did you say? You were just like, I'm just gonna stay?
I don't know.
You didn't
I
know.
don't know.
So
Yeah.
why? And this is a question a lot of people don't understand, especially this is a different time. We're talking what, the 80s? When was this?
83.
Yeah, 83. So it was a different time because women couldn't even buy houses in the 70s or the early
My
70s.
mother could not
It's
buy a
freaking
house in
crazy.
1964 because she was a Black divorced woman and
Crazy.
she worked for a lawyer. And so he bought her house in his secretary's name.
Man.
I have the original deed.
Yeah, because
Rose, Who is Rosa Gutierrez? That's not my mom's name. Yes,
I'm just saying
Doreen.
that to preface because a lot of people don't understand. They don't. It was a different time, and that's why there's so many women that stayed. So tell us, what did you stay for? The money? Like, give us a little reason of why you stayed 18 extra years.
Well, we had already purchased a home. We were still working on our degrees. He was trying to get his doctorate degree. I was going to another level of nursing degree. So we had bills now. We have car notes. And that was scary to me to leave the marriage. What's going to happen? And I had moved away. I moved from Miami to Tampa.
So
I
you weren't even
wasn't
in your
I wasn't
network.
even home anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All of that scared me.
Yeah.
And
So
I
that
and I stayed. Then I found myself pregnant.
that'll do it. We actually did a show recently about toxic relationships, and one of the things I learned the experts talked about was reproductive abuse, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" How
Okay.
how this one client of hers, the husband kept getting her pregnant, so she couldn't leave. She had 7 kids. Like he would literally put holes in the condom, all that kind of stuff. So even
Oh,
though when men say, "Oh, she trapped me," men be doing it too.
oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
That's new to me.
Yeah, reproductive abuse. I learned about so many types of abuse. I was like, God damn, I think I want to stay single. And I guess I'm on the algorithm of that. When you're on social media and you look at one thing, then you keep getting videos for it. So I have a client of mine that's going through like abuse and stuff, like I said. So I'm always sending her videos, but then now I see all the videos. One of the videos I keep seeing over and over again are women asking their grandmother or their mom, should I get married? What should I do? Or what's the advice you would give me? And almost all of them say don't get married. Like I'm just like mind blown. Like they're like, nope, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have kids. Nope. And it just blew my mind. Like that's the mindset of a lot of young women now. They don't even have kids. So what do you think about?
Well, the old mindset from grandma and ma was that they were trained to find a husband,
Hmm?
get married, have children, take care of the children in the house, and the man goes out to work
Right.
because that is that century's culture. In the 21st century, women now have to work to balance a household, but
Mhm.
they're also realizing that they have just as much power as their husband. So maybe women should not rush to get married as we were doing in the 20th century
Right.
because it's not needed. Maybe we should pause and figure out ourselves first, how we could fit in with another human being.
Of that. Yeah, we talked about this on a episode on Your Power Radio one time where my co-host said, like somebody says, you complete me. You should complete yourself first. And then two
Exactly.
whole halves come together as one. Then it's a successful relationship, right? So again, your book, jaw-dropping, so much details. You had to be extremely vulnerable to share parts of your life with us, and we appreciate it. So tell us what actually led you to have this passion to say, I need to share this. I need to write a book. What led you to that?
My lived experiences and the end result of my marriage led me to want to put it in book form because we went through, he and I both, so many different levels that I know as a nurse that people are going through. And I thought if I could just put it in a book, which took me 10 years to write, 10 years, yeah,
Hey, sometimes they do. I know.
that it would benefit other people. And that is the reason I wrote the book, to help others. I want to leave it as a legacy. People
Aw.
should people should read it and, fix their lives themselves before they go trying to fix hubby's life, their children's lives. Illness, it's very prevalent, and we women who are nurturers, and
Mhm.
so we want to do it all.
I would say that this book also was probably very therapeutic for you, getting it out, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, we're now taking care of parents. So we start off taking care of husbands, and children are coming, they're taking care of them. And then we never take care of ourselves. And then our parents are aging, and now we're infused into their lives. And it was very therapeutic. I needed to put it all because my story is everybody's story.
Right,
It's
right.
just now people get an opportunity to see their story in that book, and maybe they can find a middle ground for themselves.
So I know for 19 years of being married and not happy, that had to have caused a lot of like buildup of resentment and anger and probably feeling a little helpless. What did that do to you or to your health?
Well, at 39, I was told I had breast cancer, and that was hard. It was like a punch in the gut to find that out. I was told that I could die from this breast cancer, but I wasn't a church girl. Didn't go to church. So I told my mother, we need to find a church. So at least somebody would eulogize me and bury me. So yeah, so we started looking around for churches, and I found a church. And after visiting many, maybe 15,
Wow.
and this one that we went in the day before Martin Luther King birthday in 1998. And the lady was not preaching, but she was instructing on peace because Martin Luther King stood for peace in the world. And she asked the question to her parishioners, do you know what peace is? Do you have any peace? And I started to cry because I recognized I had no peace. I didn't have any peace with my husband, no peace with my son who was running around making me crazy, no peace within. And now I'm sick and I could die. And this guy would have run off with some other woman. That brought me full circle where I actually asked for her to pray with me, and she did. And after the prayer, she said, breast cancer comes from deep hurt and resentment. And there the tears flowed again because I was resentful for being beat up by my husband. I resented my stepfather for beating up my mother and my brother and I. And it was deep. When she said deep, it was deep enough to make me sick.
That's a buildup. And I always tell people from as being a Reiki master that your heart, all your chakras, if you keep your chakras blocked or you're guarded or holding on to anger, it can turn into physical ailments. And guess where the breasts are? The heart chakra.
Yeah, that's
so it
right.
makes a lot of sense. And then what's the main thing she told you that really said, I gotta do some work on myself?
I must forgive. I must forgive. She wanted me to take a journal and journal every day what I was grateful for and who did I forgive, even if they weren't on the planet anymore, such as that stepfather or my real father. I needed to forgive them in writing to release that unforgiveness from me would be my healing. She told me you need to forgive in order to keep living.
Powerful. So that helped you because look at you. You still here. How old are you right now? You're 39?
68.
Okay.
Okay.
It works. Forgiving. So we know you're healed. You made it happen. You manifested an amazing life as a nurse. So now, how did your relationship evolve with the after you got the message to forgive?
I simply let him go. I let everything that he had ever done go. I had a conversation with him about letting go and forgiving, and we started to become friends.
Aw,
Yeah.
okay. And that helped you a lot. Your friendship
Yeah.
was blossoming. And is he still with us or no?
No, he passed away in 2018, and the book is dedicated to him.
Oh my goodness, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do now is share a scene from the book, a powerful one. So can you set up the scene for us?
This is one of the scenes of abuse as a young girl. I probably was about 8 or 9 when this is one of the abusive scenes that I'll speak on right quickly. Once he grabbed her by her face and tried to bite her eye out. She had tooth marks all over her eyebrow and under her eye, which became swollen, puffy, and discolored. My neighbor, Joe, had handguns, shotguns, and hunting knives everywhere. Because of for 4 years of abuse with this gentleman, with my mother and my brother and I was fed up. I wanted to do something. So we spoke to our neighbor, Joe, who had a bunch of guns, and we told him about the terror we were feeling. He said his mother and father knew just what was going on in our household. And he agreed to teach me how to fire this weapon. We practiced on how to cock the gun, put in the bullets, the shells, and close it back. We practiced shooting it into the canal. My brother and I decided we would carry out our revenge on a Friday night because that's when they would go out and party. We knew without a doubt that we would be awakened by her screams, yelling, furniture being thrown around their bedroom. We would usually cry and agonize because we felt helpless to do anything about it. We had such hatred for him. On the night that we were to carry this out, we stayed awake for that night, heard them drive up, heard them come into the house, and waited because we knew this would be the night that I would shoot Jack, is his name, with the gun. Nothing happened. There was total quiet in their bedroom. So the next day, we went outside playing when my mom appeared at the front door and she screamed angrily, called us to come inside. She had placed a shotgun on the top of my bed and she screamed, "Why is this gun in my house? I demand an explanation now." I explained we were going to kill her husband for continually beating her. Her face grew sad as she looked at us. She said, "I'm sorry. You thought to commit a murder because of my choices."
End scene. Wow. You was a tough little girl, honey. Well, good thing did you get a beating?
No, thank God.
Oh, no. Well, I think a lot of people will really want to really enjoy your book and learn a lot of lessons. Even if you didn't have anything as traumatic happen, you can still relate in many ways to the book. I felt it very entertaining and educational too. So I'm just very happy that you have your own podcast now where you can share stories and we can educate others so that they don't make the same mistakes, right? That's the whole point of us trying to share, as they call us. I'm in auntie stage now, so we're aunties of the internet.
Yes, exactly. That's true.
Yeah, because a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons, So I think this book will help people get clear on what happens after the fairy tale, Well, Jennifer, I'm just so happy that you're here, and I'm glad that we're going to be sharing some more episodes coming up. And if today's conversation encouraged you, we'd love for you to like, subscribe. We're going to put all the links to Jennifer's website. Her Instagram is going to be all in the show notes, so make sure you follow her. And make sure, most importantly, you buy a copy of her book, Divorcing into Paradise. Next episode, we're going to be diving into a conversation that so many people ask themselves, should I date again? After they end the relationship, they're terrified. They don't want to get out there. So we're going to give you tips on how to make that move and when it's ready, when you're ready to make that move. And also making decisions on how to pick the right person. Sometimes we either close the door and don't be in a relationship for like another 10 years, or we just jump right into another one and go on a rebound, and then we're not ready. So in that next episode, we're going to dig deep into that. We have the twin love coaches, Gladys Diaz and Michelle, who are going to be our experts. And they were on Your Power Radio many years ago, and they're amazing. They're so much fun. They'll be giving you information on how to make healthier decisions. Well, until next time.
The fairy tale may have ended, but your story isn't over.
Bye, everybody.
Ooh, yeah. Love after the fairy tale. Love after the fairy tale. Love after the fairy tale. true.